And over the weekend, the Sporting Lagos Football Academy made history by becoming the first Nigerian club to win at the Gothia Cup after they thrashed the FC Tokyo 4-0 in the B17E Championship final. On their way to lifting the title, the Lagos side defeated fellow Nigerian outfit Beyond Limits Football Academy 5-4 in an outstanding, thrilling and unforgettable semi-final. Sporting Lagos defender Babatunde Akomolede was also awarded the most valuable player for his efforts at this competition, and actually even contributed 3 assists from throw-ins, long throws in that semi-final win over Beyond Limits Football Academy in the semi-final. So congratulations to Sporting Lagos Football Academy. They become the second Nigerian team to win an international youth tournament this year, following in the footsteps of Beyond Limits Football Academy, who they defeated in the semi-final of this competition. Well, joining us right now, all the way from here in Lagos, is Ayobami Animashaun, who is head of recruitment for Sporting Lagos Football Academy. Thank you so much for joining us, Ayobami, and congratulations. I don't know why you don't look particularly happy. You guys made history, so congratulations to you guys.
Well, good evening to you, Babatunde. Good evening to Mr. Deji and to the gentleman in the studio. Yeah, I would say I already basked in the euphoria of lifting the title, and obviously, now facing the reality of what's to come afterwards, because lifting the title is one thing, maintaining that standard is the most important thing. And, based on my own job description, we need to keep the standard high. That's exactly why I have the, serious look on my face, because I've been quite busy all day. But the boys are very, very excited. The whole club, even right from the senior team, to the staff and, coaches, everyone is super elated about, the achievements of the boys.
Yeah, I mean, considering from what we've seen so far, the football academy has actually even had an even better season than the main team itself. But we're looking at what does this do for Sporting Lagos as a football entity now? The academy has done brilliantly well. What are the plans now? Are there plans to fast track some of these players into the main team proper, or we're looking at probably what most football academies around this part of the world do, pretty much transfer some of their best players into Europe? What is the plan for some of these players now?
Yeah, to be honest, the academy itself was obviously set up in a way to be an established pipeline right there for the senior team. Essentially as well for another arm of the Sporting Lagos project, which is obviously Orange Fremad in Denmark. And then ultimately, for the Nigerian national teams at large. So that remains the, primary objective of why the academy was set up. The performance of these boys wasn't quite surprising, particularly a few of them. We already had them in mind. We registered them even for the NPFL last season, just because of, the direction of the games. That is why we couldn't field them as often as we could, or we wanted to, in the NPFL last season. So that says a lot about the trust the club has in these players as it is at the moment. Then, of course, couple that with, the triumph they had on Saturday right here in Sweden. So obviously you can expect a good number of them in the first team next season. Also, football is also about, entertainment. It's also about business. So if the right offer comes along for any of them, as long as the pathway right is actually, is glaring and it's convincing enough, we would obviously consider that. But, the main objective of setting up the academy itself is to actually be a pipeline for the Sporting Lagos project, the senior team, Orange Fremad, and of course the national teams in Nigeria.
Okay, I think you have a question.
Yeah, I mean, it was a brilliant outing by the team in Sweden, defeating, their Nigerian counterparts Beyond Limits. But I want to know, what is the directive going forward for the academy? Is it to continue to harness young players and to be able to give them an opportunity to play outside of the country? Or are you going to do both of them hand in hand, advancing some of them to the main team, or is it going to be one or the other?
There is no harm in doing everything as long as the time permits us. The season for the academy team actually ended on Saturday. The season started way back in late August 2023. That's the way we look at things internally at Sporting Lagos Academy. During that time, we played in the TCC. That's like a private league here for just a few academies in Nigeria. We played the league. We got to the cup final of the TCC as well. Surprisingly, we got defeated by Beyond Limits on penalty shootouts back in the month of May. So during that time as well, the academy team also played in the Nigeria Nationwide League. That's the NLO Division 1. So obviously there is a lot of tournament to keep these boys busy, essentially in the terms of helping them, test their talent, and of course whatever it is they are grabbing in terms of rate of development against their peers, and then see how ready they are also for the senior team. And that's exactly how we measure this. Then for the international exposure, it is obviously part of what we also have as our objectives, which is obviously to ensure that these boys are not. It's okay. Let me just use this analogy. It's like you literally just in the kitchen cooking a lot of things, and then at the end of the day, you might not really know how well done it is until you probably call on a few people to help you have a taste of it. So that's how we are looking at the international exposure for these boys, essentially to see how they will measure up against their peers from other countries, and also to give them that leverage in terms of quick adaptation to foreign countries, just in case they eventually get a move later in the future. So it's not going to be something entirely strange to them. I mean, imagine a host of them made it out of Nigeria for the first time in their life when they arrived here for the Gothia Cup. So I'm quite sure by the time they're turning 18 and of course going for their first professional contract outside the country, it obviously won't be quite surprising to them. So that's part of how we look at things internally. We play in local tournaments, TCC, Nationwide League, even FA Cup, Lagos State FA Cup. And then also exposing to the tournaments outside the country.
But just before I let you go, I know it's pretty late there, sweetie, but two quick questions. One has to do with Babatunde Akomolede, who was the MVP of this competition. There's a lot of talk about it. We heard there's actually a stampede for his services right now in Sweden, right where you are right now. But there's also a question regarding his ownership. There's been some talk in the media that he's actually on loan to your academy from a club called, I think, Broad City or so. Can you clarify that? Then secondly, what is the partnership between Beyond, I beg your pardon, Sporting Lagos Football Academy and your sister club there in Europe? Of course, you do know that the owner of Sporting Lagos has a European club he purchased. What is the synergy, if there's any, between the academy and that club?
So we see everything as a whole project itself, the Sporting Lagos project, be it the senior team here in Nigeria, the academy team in Nigeria, and even Oros Fremad. Everything work. I mean, every team work. They essentially work together to make the Sporting Lagos project what we want it to be. In terms of synergy, obviously there is a strong one there. Maybe not directly from the academy, because it's probably going to look like a big jump. The way we look at it is seeing it as a process. If you are good enough from the academy, then we are going to trust you with some minutes in the senior team. And when we see that you're able to eventually, stand on both feet, then we can start thinking of pushing you to Oros Fremad. And guess what? Just last season, we had the first player this time last year, actually. We had the first player to make use of that pathway from the Sporting Lagos senior team to Oros Fremad. That's Segun Olalere. This summer, another player is potentially going to eventually make use of that pathway as well. I'll keep that under wraps. But yes, there is a very strong link. But the most important thing is the establishment of the quality. If you are good enough to play here in Nigeria, then you are showing us that conviction that, of course, you can go anywhere in the world, be it Oros Fremad or even in Belgium or any club whatsoever.
Okay. But finally, very quickly, regarding the status of Babatunde Akomolede, can you clarify that for us?
Yeah, so the thing is, I think just as it occurs in major football transfers, there's always going to be the movement of a player from one club to the other. So that exactly is, what is obtainable right there. Of course, we can't deny the fact that Babatunde Akomolede, few months ago was a player of Broad City. And even at the moment, there's obviously an established agreement in terms of, his transfer to Sporting Lagos. But yeah, so Sporting Lagos, of course, has Babatunde Akomolede now, but indeed, Broad City also has a share ownership of Babatunde Akomolede. Okay. So I'll put it that way. But majorly is obviously a Broad City player, and then it came to us on loan.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, when the combatants for his transfer eventually make the move and pay out the big money, the millions we're expecting, that means you and Broad City have plenty on the table to share. No question, no fight. But thank you for joining us tonight, all the way from Stockholm. Mr. Animashaw, it's an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Congratulations once again on your triumph in Sweden. So we'll be waiting at the airport to welcome you back as champions.
By the way, the boys will land with the trophy tomorrow night, so you might as well just pop by and then congratulate them.
Thank you. We know exactly where to be. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.